Rigor Mortis 2013 is the last Chinese zombie movie and the highest-rated zombie movie after Book of Jinns. It is said to be very scary, so 6 minutes of the story was cut before its release. The story begins with the former master-disciple trio, but now only A Hao remains. Due to the fall of the zombies and the departure of his wife and children, A Hao's life has also reached its lowest point. He moves into an apartment, and the security guard Uncle Yen unlocks room 2442 for him. Uncle Yen keeps saying that the room is beautiful, but he looks very nervous. He first lights 3 incense sticks. Before leaving, Yen Shu did not forget to light 3 incense sticks at the door. As the saying goes, 3 incense sticks in front of the door, someone in the family has died, which obviously means that there are evil spirits in this house. However, all this is already irrelevant to A Hao. After he put down his bag and listened to the recording of his son's conversation, he tried to commit suicide by kicking the stool under his feet. Although he really wanted to die, the vengeful spirits in the house were reluctant. He saw the white cloth in front of him slowly rising up, on which a human face was printed. Then the spirit entered his body in the form of white smoke. A Hao immediately opened his eyes and began to float in the air. Apparently, he was possessed by a ghost. This terrifying moment, a Taoist priest in a dressing gown broke open the door, cut the rope with a knife, and rescued A Hao. He began to recite incantations to drive away evil spirits in a professional manner. Then the spirit carrying A Hao from behind pushed the Taoist priest, and a fight broke out between the two. Finally, the Taoist priest held him in front of a mirror in the house. The spirit was so ugly that as soon as it looked into the mirror, the spirit lifted A Hao into the air and left A Hao's body, causing A Hao to hit the wall and fall down. The neighbors heard the noise and entered the house. They saw A Hao vomit a large amount of black liquid from his mouth, and then he gradually regained consciousness. That night, A Hao was sitting alone in his room looking at pictures of his former brothers. He was overcome with emotion. That moment, there was a sudden sound outside the door. A Hao looked through the peephole and saw a woman peeking at him. Curious, he opened the door and saw the woman sitting on the ground eating something. The woman looked nervous. A Hao was a little confused. The woman turned around and saw a girl hanging from a rope in A Hao's room, but A Hao couldn't understand the mystery. The woman was crying bitterly. Then, because A Hao was hungry, he went to the fried food restaurant downstairs. The owner was none other than the Taoist priest who had met him before. Everyone here called him Brother Yu. Brother Yu's ancestors were all Taoist priests, but now none of them are alive. In order to make a living, they changed their professions and opened a restaurant. Just as A Hao was waiting for his food to be prepared, Mei arrived. Mei was well known in the area as a kind person who often helped her neighbors with free sewing and childcare. She told A Hao about her and that Mei also had a husband named Uncle Dong. Although they had no children, their relationship was very good. One night, when Uncle Dong went out to take out the trash, he suddenly heard a strange laugh. He looked down and saw a little boy sitting on the stairs. As a result, he accidentally fell and rolled down the stairs, causing him to die instantly. Aunt Mui, who was at home, woke up immediately. Instead of announcing Aunt Mui's death, she met Taoist priest Su downstairs. Aunt Mui couldn't accept that her husband was gone and wanted Su to help resurrect her husband. Mui sewed up all the cuts on Uncle Dong's body. Taoist priest Jiao tried to heal Uncle Dong by reciting special methods and incantations. After making all the arrangements, Jiao put on the copper coin mask for Uncle Dong and told Mei not to take it off for 7 days. At the same time, A Hao saw the woman, who was standing on the other side, holding her son in her arms. A Hao turned his head and saw 4 strange people, about 2 meters tall, walking slowly with umbrellas. These were the legendary Yin soldiers of Warning Island. It was said that if you encounter the Yin soldiers of Warning Island, you should not make eye contact with them, otherwise you will get into trouble. Their purpose in coming this time was to take Jiao away. Jiao was originally a Taoist priest, but he knew that some evil secretary had sent Yin energy to take him away. After that, A Hao went to the woman's residence, but accidentally met the caretaker Yen Shu. From Yen Shu, he learned that the woman's name was Hong Ji. Hongji was originally the owner of room 24, but her husband had bad thoughts about the increase in the yin energy of the twins and killed her sister. Since then, Hongji has gone crazy and room 24 has also become a murder room. Looking at the poor mother and son, Hao thought of his own son. So he went to the Taoist priest for help to suppress the spirits. Taoist priest was alone. He was preparing the table for dinner. Hao asked him for help, finished the conversation and returned home, but as soon as he entered his room, black blood spattered all over his body. Before he could react, someone tried to strangle him to death. Turned out that Jio wanted to use his body to drive away the twin spirits. As soon as Jio recited the spell, the twin spirits appeared. Hao was immediately possessed by the spirits. Then the two sides fought, but the twin spirits were different from ordinary spirits. Jio was no match for them at all. That crucial moment, the Taoist priest appeared. Two of them tried together to fight the evil spirits from Hao's body. Then they tied the two spirits together with red thread and sealed them in the cupboard. Later, although Jio expressed gratitude, the Taoist priest slapped him in the face. He said that how could you be so clever that you tried to catch the two spirits by using someone else's life? Taoist priest said that the broken cupboard could not last long and should be burned quickly. Then he poured oil into the cupboard. Seems that Shui had other intentions, but the Taoist priest was not so treacherous. Recently, he smelled oil on his neighbor's body. Through asking about the smell, he learned that all their clothes were sewn by Aunt May. On this day, Sister Hong's son came to Aunt May's house to play. This time, Aunt May completely changed, locked the boy in the bathroom, and no matter how much she screamed, she remained still. At the same time, the ancestral device in the Taoist priest's house began to move on its own. Something big was about to happen. That night, the Taoist priest went to Aunt Mui's house to check on her. He found the room in disarray. Suddenly, a hand grabbed his mouth. Then a zombie jumped out from behind him. Since it didn't smell like a human, the zombie slowly left. Then Shui admitted that Uncle Dong didn't die when he fell, but rather Shui saw him as he passed by. Shui kindly stepped forward to help, but when Uncle Dong woke up, he thought Shui wanted to harm him. Then Uncle Dong died accidentally. Shui was already nearing the end of his life, and was relying on sucking the little ghost's yin energy to prolong his life. But after a long time, the ordinary little ghosts were no longer effective, so he turned his attention to the twins. Their yin power was even stronger than the little ghosts. The dead Uncle Dong accidentally became suitable. Unexpectedly, Aunt May not only took off his mask, but also sacrificed the blood of a child. Now that a big mistake had been made, Shui could only consult the Taoist priest to solve the problem. So he could only ask for help from Brother Hao. In the meantime, Sister Hong, who could not find her child, accidentally ran into Zeus's house. She heard a sound from the cupboard and thought that her son was inside, so she broke the lock of the cupboard with the bell in her hand, and the twin spirits immediately came out of the cupboard, but they did not say a word to Hong and left. Later, Hong saw her son's ghost in the corridor and learned that her son had been sacrificed for Uncle Dong. Sister Hong then fought Uncle Dong to avenge her son. Faced with the powerful zombie, she was defeated. Just then, Hao arrived. He threw a Molotov cocktail, but the zombie was not only unharmed, but also jumped on Hao, accidentally hitting the pole in front of the zombie and spilling rice on his body. This moment, the twin spirits appeared in the corridor. This time, their target was not Hao, but the zombie. Imagine the combination of spirit and zombie is very powerful. That time, Uncle Dong reached up and pulled out a steel pipe and threw it at Hao. On the spot, the steel pipe sank into one side of Hao's chest. He tried to pull it out. Fortunately, Hao's friend, the Taoist priest, arrived in time and temporarily suppressed his attack with magic. They formed a formation in the corridor and waited for the zombie to appear. The moment the Taoist priest lit a cigarette, the zombie also arrived. Then, the Taoist priest immediately activated the 5 elements formation. A major battle broke out between Hao and the zombie. As the 5 elements formation shifted, the surrounding environment changed accordingly. Taoist priest shifted the formation to the wood attribute, and the zombie was immediately entangled in the vines. Hao seized the opportunity and hit him hard. But the zombie's thick skin and strong muscles meant that this attack was not enough to kill him. As soon as he finished speaking, the zombie broke free. Hao quickly fell into a hostile position. Aha grabbed the zombie and the Taoist priest quickly threw the wooden sword with the red thread at it. Unexpectedly, the zombie broke it with one hand. This time, the 5-star formation acquired the metal element. The metal element formation is the strongest and can transform darkness into light. Taoist priest did not hesitate any longer and jumped directly from the top floor with the red rope. Due to the tension in the rope, Hao and the zombie started to move forward together. This time, the 5-element formation was completed and the zombie's body instantly burned. Uncle Dong's wife was burned by the fire because she had become a ghost. Hao lay on the ground half dead. Suddenly, snow began to fall from the sky. Today's story ends here. If you like it, please subscribe, follow, and support me. See you in the next movie.